Hi, this is Dawnafe Whitesinger from Navajo County. I serve District 5, and today we are here with Navajo County Connection, and we have John Osgood from the Public Works, and he is the Public Works Director. One of the things that we are doing, certainly, we're stepping into the month of November, and so that means colder weather and possibly snow. At least we cross our fingers, because I know many of us are waiting to get up on the mountain to go skiing. And so snow means, what does snow mean? It means that we're going to have trucks like these on the road. And John can tell us a little bit about how Public Works gets prepared for the snow season.
Yes, thank you. So Public Works has about 740 miles of roads that we maintain in our maintenance system. About 45% of them are paved and 55% of them are unpaved. And we operate our snow response and our road maintenance activities out of 3 staffed yards, one of which we're standing in now, which is in Sholo. We have another yard in Holbrook, and where's the third one?
Somewhere out there.
That's funny. The third one's in Heber.
There we
go.
So
we have Sholo, Holbrook, and Heber are our staffed maintenance yards where we stage our road maintenance and snow response operation. We also have throughout the county 3 unstaffed locations. One's in Taylor, one's in Winslow, and one's in Pine Top. And those are the areas that we use to stage material, like the cinders that are right behind us, and some equipment when we're ready to operate. And we spread our cinders in intersections and on hills for traction. People sometimes say, "Do you use salt in your operation?" We do on a limited basis, and we'll mix it in with the cinders and then use that pretty much in shady spots where we have some ice developing, and we limit the salt to those types of areas.
Well, I know that getting prepared takes a lot of time and effort. It's not just turning on the truck and you can hit the road. What are some of those things that you have to do?
Right. So one of the operations that we can show you is how we get ready. We first of all, we make sure that all of our vehicles are ready to go, that they're ready for service and ready for operation. We also have behind us, and we'll show that later, I think, a big pile of cinders, and we'll be adding to that through the winter as necessary. For South County, where we get most of the snow, we have about 11 motor graders that you see that we do our blading on gravel and primitive roads with. We also use those same blades to remove snow. And we have about 16 of those in South County. And we have about 11 of these large cinder trucks that we fill with the loading mechanism here, and we're ready to go out of these yards. So the guys are they're prepared. They've been through this before, and so we're ready to go.
So I think one of the things that we forget about, certainly the role of Public Works is very important in being able to serve the public when snow hits the road and making sure that people are able to get from one place to the other safely.
Yeah.
And we are so appreciative of the work that Public Works does. I know that there are countless hours into the early morning hours that they're putting in, and we've seen that year after year where they're coming out to make sure that we get to wake up to safe roadways. I think one of the things that is important is our responsibility as drivers on the road, and maybe not even drivers on the road, as people who live in the community. What are some of the things that we can do to help Public Works?
In terms of helping Public Works, you just touched on one of the most important things is if you can stay off the road, try not to drive in those kind of treacherous conditions. Also, if you see these trucks or the motor graders out, give them some space because there's sometimes limited visibility. Don't try to pass the trucks if they're going slow. They're trying to do their work and make sure the traveling public is safe. The other little things on the residential streets, we ask that you don't park on the street. because again, some of the streets are narrow and the equipment's big, so they need some space to be able to get down those streets. If you have a garbage can or a trash can that you sometimes put out for collection, make sure that that's pulled in off your property.
Mm-hmm. Well, thank you. I know that I appreciate the reminders, and I think that just like anything, partnership is really important, and this relies on the partnership of our community, that in order for us to be safe and to be able to make sure that Public Works can also do their job, because sometimes it's limiting when you have your garbage can out or you have your car parked in the roadway and so forth. So there are ways that we can help. I know that as a Board of Supervisor or a supervisor, one of the largest concerns that I get from the public is snow berms. So the bumps that go over your little driveway.
Yeah.
So, is there anything that can be done? I know that there are things that, as living in a community where it snows, there are some things that we just have to deal with. Yes,
you just touched on one of the probably the most popular call we get. So we do have a, and as we touched on before, the safety of the traveling public is by far our biggest priority when it comes to snow response. And we do have a county board of supervisor approved snow policy that we follow. Mm-hmm. So we prioritize the roads that we give attention to first based on the amount of travel that's on them. So for instance, an arterial street is a priority one for emergency vehicles, and again, the traveling public that have to get places. We also have what we call minor collector streets, excuse me, which is our second highest priority. Then we have our small residential streets, and then finally the primitive roads. So we address those in that order. We also have our drivers and our operators are assigned routes, so they know those routes. Mm-hmm. And as far as the berms go, we depending on the severity of the storm, our process and our strategy is to do one pass to open up the street, just so again those vehicles, two at a time on a street, can get past. Once we do that, then we have some time to go back maybe the next day and widen it up a little bit and clear it. And then again, depending on the severity of the storm, on a third or fourth day, we can go out and remove some of those berms. Mm-hmm. We do try to avoid, the common thing where a resident will shovel their driveway, and just as they're done, our plow comes through, or the city's plow comes through and puts a big berm there. We try to avoid that. In areas where we can, we try to focus on the opposite side of the street rather than the driveway side. Mm-hmm. It's really not practical to have the driver have to drop the plow at every driveway and not do that. But we do try to do our best to keep those driveways open. And again, in certain circumstances, and residents are welcome to call us if they really are in trouble and they can't get out, or it's 3 days into a storm and they can't get out of their driveways. We'll send somebody out and do our best to clear them. Yes,
yes, and I know that Public Works definitely tries to work very hard with the public and making sure that the public is safe, but when there are concerns like that they quickly address them and work with the individuals. So I always appreciate that. And as you can see, that getting ready for winter is not just jumping in the truck with the plow on it and getting going, I guess, on the roadway, that there's a thought process in a way that to make sure that, we're being safe, but we're also making sure that as many roadways as, 700 miles, was that right?
It's about 700 miles that we're responsible for maintaining, yes.
For maintaining. And so getting as much of that plowed so individuals can safely drive. So we certainly appreciate that. And so thank you. We appreciate you joining us today. My name is Dawnafe Whitesinger, and I'm County Supervisor, and we will see you in December.